Nikki Bhamra. Nikki Bhamra is a former senior crime investigator and human behavior expert, renowned for transforming investigative techniques into powerful leadership strategies.
I bring an investigative lens to leadership, helping leaders see hidden patterns, ask better questions, and unlock new ways of thinking.
This is where I come in. I help leaders to think like investigators, to spot what others miss, to ask sharper questions, and to lead with clarity.
Let me tell you what most leaders do when trust has broken down. They apologise, they may try and reframe it, and then they move along very quickly, hoping that time will smooth it over. But in my world, where we were fighting serious and organised crime, we didn't have that luxury. Getting to the truth was crucial to everything. Having an environment where there was trust, where team members trusted each other, they trusted me as their leader, was absolutely critical. Getting to the truth quickly was the key to our success as an elite, high-performing team. After one particular operation, trust inside the team had absolutely frayed. And it wasn't due to the one catastrophic event, but how the aftermath was handled. A few officers had raised concerns before the deployment, but those concerns were dismissed. And when things didn't quite go to plan, leadership went quiet. There was no debrief about it, there was no explanation, there were no reflections. The team felt desperately unheard. And the officers, they didn't argue or escalate things. They went quiet and became disengaged. They turned up every day, they did their jobs, but they stopped offering their insights or their thoughts, and they stopped trusting the process. And here's what I've learnt. Trust doesn't collapse in one moment. It drains out slowly. It happens when people realise that their voice just doesn't carry any weight. And it doesn't return just because you've moved on to the next thing. It returns when you go back and do the one thing that feels the most uncomfortable. And you open the conversation that should have happened the moment that you'd noticed that things had cracked. When I've built up trust in teams, it's never been with one grand gesture. It's just the smaller micro moments, like meeting with a member of my team and asking them, what doesn't sit right with you at the moment? What do I need to do to help you to do your job more effectively? It's sitting in the discomfort when someone says, I didn't feel heard. And being the first to admit, I got that wrong. It doesn't need to be perfect, it doesn't need to be performative, it just needs you to be honest and vulnerable in that moment. Because most people, they don't want or need you to be flawless. They just need to know that in the moments that really matter, you are there, that you won't just disappear. And most people believe that trust is built in those big moments, and it's not. It's built or rebuilt in the way that you respond when the truth does finally surface. When someone quietly says, I saw the problem, but I just didn't know how to raise it. You have a choice in how you respond. You can deflect, you can move on to something else, or you can reassert your control. Or you can stop, look them in the eye, and say, thank you for sharing that. Tell me more. And it's in that moment that they will decide whether they can trust you with the truth next time. So if you're trying to rebuild trust in your team after major change, after some disruption, or after the silence. Don't just ask, how can we move forward with this? Instead, ask, what do I need to hear that nobody has said yet? And how will I respond when they finally say it? Because trust, it doesn't just return after some time. It starts to rebuild once people finally feel heard.